Apparently we have a 20-minute cutoff today, so we're going to continue on with our poetry. One other product that I want to mention is this website. It's Magnetic Poetry. There are also kits that you can order, but this is going to be just a direct substitution tool where students can drag and drop words over to build their poems. What I really like about this is that they can get more words and they can also start over. And so that really is going to help with that element of student frustration, especially with writing. I know that that is going to be a weak area for a lot of students. And so I really, really like this tool for that. This could be used as our early finisher in your classroom. It could be something you do together as a class. It could be one of those things where, you go around the circle or go around the room and everybody picks a word and try to make it a poem that really makes sense. You could do it with various types of poetry that you have to build certain types with these words. So just an activity, another resource that you could use to kind of just, mix things up a little bit. So moving on, I would be remiss if I did not mention Google Tools. So I want to talk about some ELA activities that could be done with Google Tools. So one thing I would like to talk about is Google Sites. This is going to be for our late middle school, high school students, where they are able to build a Google site to maybe create a whole portfolio of their writing. So I have a sample site built here. It is a history site. It's a portfolio of World War I, but if you are, an ELA teacher and you're doing different literary studies or different genres or different types of writing, you could have students pull all of that together into one portfolio, and then they have a great piece of work to show all of their efforts that they have put into that. So a Google site is super easy to build. I've got a YouTube tutorial. You can go to YouTube and just search Google Sites for beginners, and then you're able to get some information to help you get started. You can add different pages, and as I go through these pages, you can see right here that we can upload images. We can search the web, and then we can also upload them from our computer. You can insert YouTube videos. You can insert docs that you have already made. It's linked directly to your Google Drive. You can insert slide decks that are in there. Anything that's a Google product is going to be easily integrated into Google Sites. So super easy to use, a great Google tool to really take and apply different content areas to. Also want to mention Google Docs. That is going to be just basic word publishing, but let's be real. This is a skill that our students are going to need. Any job that they are moving to, they're going to need it. They're going on to higher education. They're going to need word processing skills. Yes, I know Google Docs helps them with their writing, but we live in a world today where we get that assistance all the time. I use spell check all the time in emails. So we need to go ahead and give them access to using those things by encouraging them to, publish their information, even if you want them to do rough drafts and things by hand, but using a Google Doc and talking about, what formal letters look like and things like that because they're going to be using those skills within Google Docs. Google Docs has several things called smart chips too that give them some different tools. There's some things in there where you can draft emails and things like that are good, maybe good planning documents and things like that. Google Slides, we're all familiar with it, same old, but I do have an activity that I want to showcase that is in a Google Slide that I thought was super cool. It comes from Eric Curtis, and I will talk more about him in just a minute, but it is called the One Word of the Year. So I was kind of going down the rabbit hole of this could be a vocabulary word activity and things like that. So this is his slide presentation. I made my own copy. There is a link to the blog post that gives directions, and then also a YouTube link for directions on how to do this. So this is essentially what we're going to create is a word that has a picture in the background. So again, I was thinking if you did different vocabulary words, they have to find pictures that go with that vocabulary word to create this. So I would set this up for my students, no matter how old they are. You need to have this template ready for them and assigned to them. So this right here is what we call word art. You can change the word. I'm just going to put my name in there. I'm going to make it all caps. You can change the word by double clicking, but it is also a certain font. It is this highlight Zilla Slab highlight font. So You've got to have that to make this work. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to find a picture. And again, all of these steps are in the blog post and the YouTube video because I'm going a little fast for this. So I'm just going to find some nice pictures of some flowers to use for mine. And you want something that is not super like singular. Like this right here is not going to really be a good choice for what I'm trying to accomplish. I am going to choose, I like these tulips a lot. If you've never been to Montebello for the Tulip Festival, it's pretty cool. So we basically want to resize this to kind of fit in that box. So I'm just dragging my picture through here. And the other key aspect to this is layering. So if you are a Canva creator, you're pretty familiar with layering because whenever we are working with something like this, we're stacking layers on top of each other. So now this picture is on top of my word. So I'm going to do a right click and under order, I'm going to say send to the back. And now I have got the picture behind my word art and it's shining through the words in the middle, the letters in the middle, excuse me. So we're stacking that information. And I think once you walk through this a couple of times with your kids, they'll be able to do it no problem. So this, again, I think you could use for a variety of activities. You could go along with like story characters. It could be colors for lower elementary. I think the possibilities are endless that you could do this with. And even a good like first beginning of the year introductory activity, you know, that's a great way to get to know your kids. So that is linked on the Padlet. It will require you to make your own copy. Again, I highly recommend, I would take this slide and I would set this up for your students and push it out to them if it were me. Okay, now we're going to get into the fun stuff. So AI is the topic everybody is talking about. Everybody who wants to use it. Lots of people don't want to use it, but lots of tech conferences and stuff are focusing on AI tools and their use in the classroom. So let me be very clear. Most of the ones that we're doing today make life easier for you, because if you've been doing this for a long time, even if you've only been doing it for 2 or 3 years, or it's your first year, you may want to just like change things up. Like, hey, I want to do that differently. So that's what I'm kind of focusing on today, is how we can use some of these AI tools in the classrooms to mix things up. I said I would mention more about him later. Eric Curtis has a website called Control-Alt-Achieve. I love his resources. So what I did is on this presentation, I'm going to go ahead and close that. I have got on Notebook LM, I think, yes, Brisk Teaching and Magic School, his post with how to use it, a demo video, suggestions of how to use it is all on there for you to go back and look at. So I did that because I can show that to you in this presentation, but this kind of gives you the autonomy where you can go back and figure out what I want to use that for, and really just a good overview of that. So Magic School AI, lots of districts are purchasing district licenses for that. We have not. We are kind of endorsing school AI is the direction that I'm moving towards. But by all means, you are welcome to use Magic School AI. It has tons of tools to create all of these things that you see here. It gives you the ability to edit those tools and modify it to your needs. It is a very powerful tool, and something, if you have not checked it out, I would highly recommend checking out Magic School for that reason. Let's talk about Brisk for a minute. So I thought I had that linked. Maybe I do not. Brisk Teaching Control-Alt. If I didn't, I will certainly add it so that you have that resource. You go back and find mistakes all the time. Brisk Teaching is an extension. I do have it installed, and good for you. When I did this live yesterday, I did not have this installed. So I'm actually going to show you how it works today, because I did something super duper cool with it. Again, it has a demo video. Brisk mentions that it can help you with your writing specifically. So it is an extension, which means it's a little bitty. I'm circling right up here where this is listed as up here by the puzzle pieces. It's basically like a little assistant onto programs you're already using. So if you're doing reading or writing in here, it's showing you right here in this little video how you can generate things, but also you can go in and give some feedback for that as well. Now this is for teachers. For teachers. I am not endorsing it creating writing for the students, okay? So please don't eat me alive for that. For teachers being the key word. But I want to show you something super cool that I did. So this is one of my Canva series videos with a super unflattering screenshot of myself. But this is me going through the Canva Crazy PD. So you can take this video, and my little brisk icon is down here in the bottom corner, and I went to create. And I'm going to create a presentation from this YouTube video. And so I did all that already, and it generated this very basic, a little blah presentation. But I'm telling you right now, go in and fix those fonts and you are good to go. So if you have to be out for some reason and you want your students to have a guided lesson with a YouTube video, here you go. Here's a YouTube video. You can make a quiz, you can make a progress report, a lesson plan, some questions, a math word problem. It's going to do it for you. So if you don't think that's going to save you time, and then feel free to email me later. So this is a huge shortcut in my opinion, and something that is going to save teachers a lot of time and sanity to do that. So you also can take that YouTube video, and within Google Classroom you can do little it's kind of like Edpuzzle, but it's built into Classroom. You can do insert questions and things like that in there. So that is a really cool feature as well. I'm checking my time to see how we're doing on that. So okay, so Brisk, again, it's an extension. I'm going to show you, I don't know if I have this linked on the Padlet, so I'm going to show you where to go to get that. Chrome Web Store, and I will link the direct link. So under, if you just Google Chrome Web Store extensions, under, we have our own recommended extensions for Chilton County Board of Education, and the Brisk extension is going to be right there. And so you will just click on it. It will say add to Chrome. You will have to sign in with your Google account. You will have to give it permission to have access to your Google Drive, which I would 100% do. I have vetted this extension, and it is safe for teachers. Now it does say that it does collect some information if students are using it, but it will not share it. But just for on the side of caution, it says AI Assistant for teachers. I would use it for teachers. I would not install it for students. So, and students do not have the ability to install on their devices anyway. So I will make sure I get that on the Padlet too before I send it out. Okay, Magic School Brisk. Notebook LM, guys, this is a game changer. This one was mentioned in the curriculum and instruction meeting that went on this week. It is not brand new, but it is just now kind of coming to the scene. So Notebook LM is a Google tool where you're going to be able to create notebooks, and you're basically going to be able to take some type of source that you have, and I'm going to show you how this works in a minute, and generate items from it. So I am going to go right here, and so these are notebooks that I did. I'm going to make a new one just so that you can see the beginning process. So you're going to add what's called a source. So I'm just going to go to my Google Slides. This is a Google product, so it is connected to my Google Drive. I'm going to use that presentation from earlier because I presented this to my class. These are all of my notes from chapter 4, whatever we were talking about. And now, as a teacher, I am going to start curating some products into this notebook, okay? So I'm going to have a little chat, and I'm going to say, okay, what are the key features of this Canva program? This is a question that's prompted down there. And so basically, it has scoured through that presentation and created key features. So I'm going to save this over here as a note. And, okay, what type of files can I edit? I'm going to save that as a note. And so now I'm building over here in my studio resources that I'm going to be able to give to my students. I can create a study guide. I can create a briefing doc based on this that, hey, Susie, you missed class today, and this is what we talked about, and this is the materials. Instead of giving that, you can give them the presentation and them create their own things. Yes. But you also can give them a summary of everything that has been created for you. And you can convert this to a source that you can then share out. Now, Notebook LM is not for users under the age of 18. We are not endorsing this for students. This is, again, a teacher-only tool. but it's going to take things that you have already spent time creating and putting together, and it's going to give you the ability to create cheat sheets and things like that off of there to be able to then share out with your students. Very powerful tool, going to be a huge time saver in the long run. Okay. Last one, I'm going to try to get in a few minutes. Now, yesterday during the live presentation, I'm going to just close out a couple of things right here. I was able to kind of demo back and forth what School AI can do, but I'm going to be able to tell you about it today. So School AI is completely free. It is a little bit different than Magic School in that aspect. One of the big selling points for me with School AI is the Spaces tool. Okay, so sorry, I went directly to the link that we used yesterday. So, okay, here's my thing. So, School AI has all the tools. It has all the things, the worksheets, the rubric, the text translator, the syllabus, all of those things that Magic School does. But this Spaces tool right here is going to be the game changer. So, Spaces are going to allow you to put your students into a space where they basically have their own teacher working with them. Okay, so they have different types of activities and things like that. I kind of went down here yesterday and I did this. So let's do vocabulary practice. Now, again, this is going to be a little bit different on this side, but hey, if you and your co-teacher have the same prep, y'all get on there and do this together so that you can kind of see both sides of it. So this is going to be vocabulary practice, and this is just going to give you a little preview of what it's going to do. So it's going to ask the students, first of all, what grade they're in. So we're going to say that I'm in 2nd grade. Okay, or if you type in a 2, it will be fine. If you type in a 25, it's going to say, well, I don't know about that. Trust me, I already know that from experience. One thing that's also great with this is that, oh my goodness, that's a lot of words and my little babies can't read that much. Okay. So it's going to read it to them. And so can you pick a vocabulary word to start with? Okay, so my vocabulary word is going to be rainforest. So let's dive into the word rainforest. So it does give them a definition, but then it's also giving them prompts to help them think of synonyms, sentences, and illustrations. So again, this is the part where, unfortunately you can't clone yourself, but your students can have access to someone who is scaffolding their instruction. If you've got those students who are in that top reading group that can go above and beyond, this gives them the freedom to be able to do so. If you've got the ones that you have got to work with over and over again and they're just not quite at the same level as everybody else, this scaffolds it to their level. It is going to differentiate instruction for every student in your class. And the best part is, this little chat thing that we have going right here, you're going to be able to go in, and so this is what we did yesterday, or this is what we were doing for my test the other day. You're going to be able to go in and see the summary of what everyone is doing. So when you have that student inevitably who is just typing in letters and he's not really participating in the activity the way he's supposed to, you're going to be able to go in and check on him and see his chat and say, I don't think that's quite what we should be working on. Let's try again. So you can monitor this as a teacher as well. So this Spaces tool, hands down, one of my favorite things. So in conclusion, very quickly to wrap up, so that is another full 20 minutes of material. There will be a Google form to complete for PD credit. If you have any questions or anything you want to add, feel free to email me or put a response to that form on there. All the resources will be shared and linked to the Padlet and also to the ones who signed up for the PD. And I thank you so much for your time and thank you for attending this virtual session today.